currently, due to an emergency, my building has shut off all water, and I am surprisingly extremely thirsty right now. Hi guys! If you clued into any of the context of my previous video, which I recently put up, I mentioned that I was sleeping on a daybed, and a closet that was next to it was almost non-existent. And as you can tell, I have a wall-length closet right now. Why? Because I have a sugar daddy. Just kidding. Today I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about how I was able to move out, because most 18-year-olds, especially with a baby, most likely can't move out of their parents' house because the funds are just not simply there. A lot of you do have several questions regarding this topic, and I kind of just wanted to address what I can and maybe provide some clarity for those of you that are wondering. So I moved out in October of 2016 around Stefan's first birthday, and if you're unaware, Canada is a country that is absolutely cushioned by many security blankets, and what that means is we have a million of social services provided to the general public. Obviously those resources aren't coming to seek you out. You have to do your research and find what is accessible and what is applicable and what you're eligible for. So I go to a school where I'm almost graduated, by the way, so soon. June 28th, not entirely sure when this video is going to go up, but June 28th, your girl walked the stage and graduated. So basically, the school I go to, it is extremely common that girls are not living with their parents. They're either living common law or by themselves with their babies. And so many resources and housing options are available, and we're all attached to social workers, so we kind of seek those out, and it's a little bit easier. So I had a lot of conflict with my stepdad, to the point where I wasn't able to really feel comfortable in my own house or at my own room at my parents' house. So I felt the need to stay at my grandmother's a lot of the time, like a good 80% of the time I was there, just because I did not feel comfortable and I didn't want to be there. And at that point I was like a little bit, it was extremely unstable, and I couldn't rely on housing, and it was really not good. So I talked to my social worker and I told her, hey, this is how it is, because we would often check in, even if I didn't necessarily need anything from her. I just wanted to talk to her. And I told her, hey, I understand that I probably won't be able to move out for another at least 4 years until I'm done university, but it just sucks, basically. And she said, this society has an opening right now, and maybe you should consider it. And so I've heard of it. One of my acquaintances lived there, and basically, I'm not going to tell you the name because it's not a chain or a brand. It's just what it is, and I don't want you people to find out where I live. So basically, it's an organization that supports young families, and by young families I mean young single moms that are in school. So they have a building, and basically there's a common space downstairs. So there's a kitchen and a little living room, and then there's the offices of the 3 women that kind of run the show, most of it anyways. And then on the second floor are 5 apartments, and they are small and very compact but livable, very good, so that's where I was living. That's not where I'm living currently, but I'll get to that. So I was able to move in there. I interviewed. It's a lengthy process to get in, to get approved, and then there's quite a few rules that you have to follow. You cannot have guests over for the first 3 months. Then those guests that you want over beyond those 3 months need to go through an interview process and need to get approved to come visit you. And there's curfew rules for your guests. So it was just a little bit more monitored and everything. but I still like felt somewhat of freedom because I was now away from my stepdad, away from all of that. I was a lot closer to school. I didn't have to burn as much gas going back and forth. It was literally 2 blocks away. I could walk when it was nice, you know. I had great like girls for neighbors. Those 5 apartments, one was a 1-bedroom, which is the one I had, and then the rest of the 4 were 2-bedroom. And you know, the 5 of us really developed great friendships, and we'd hang out sometimes, and our babies are really close in age, so it was really fun. So basically you sign a lease, and it's a year lease, and then when that year lease is up, you are offered offsite housing. Now, they got this apartment where I'm in right now kind of as an opening before my year lease was up. It is currently June, and my lease wouldn't have been up until October. So I moved in here for June 1st, and they asked me, hey, like, would you be wanting to move out to offsite housing? And I said, hell yes. So basically, this offsite housing is not the same at all. The building I live in right now is a regular apartment building, like anyone you would come across. There's no rules, you can't have anybody over or anything like that. It's just a regular apartment building. It's just the society that I'm attached to has a few units here, like reserved, booked, I don't know, for the residents that begin at their building. So I think they realized, like, there was one more girl in front of me on the waiting list to move out. By waiting list, I mean kind of an order. Like, we move in an order, then we move out into offsite housing. But she wasn't necessarily as stable as me, and not necessarily like she had like crazy mental health issues or like anything like that. It's just she didn't need more supports. Like, she didn't have as many, like, I have a boyfriend, I have a couple great friends, I, like, you know, I have my mom to lean on. Like, she didn't have or doesn't have much of that. Like, she doesn't have family that lives in the city, like, they're all in a different province, and like her and the baby's dad, like, they don't get along, and like it's a little bit more crazy for her. And so it just wasn't suitable in my eyes for her to move out right away. But she's next, she's soon, and she's great. Like, I really like her. Like, her and I were really close. Like, we're like up across the hall, and like, you know, whatever. It was great. But I think they also understood that maybe I would be a better fit. Just because a lot of the time I wasn't even at that house, because I would stay a lot at Mitchell's house because, you know, I missed him and I wanted to spend more time with him, and he wasn't allowed to stay over. And, you know, he missed Stefan, and that was kind of our only option, so I would be at his house a lot. So then they offered me this place, and he's able to stay here kind of overnight or whatever, but he's not obviously allowed to move in because that's not what it is. It's still social housing, and my rent is subsidized, and I think that is a key part that a lot of people don't necessarily understand. So the government doesn't directly put money into my bank account to pay my rent. That doesn't happen. What happens is, like, the society I live with and this building itself is subsidized. So anyone that lives here, the rent is significantly cheaper and more affordable than it would be in like a regular non-subsidized like apartment building. I live extremely close to downtown. Like, as I'm looking out the window, I see downtown, and not just like, oh, I see it, something. No, like, it's right here. I can point to every single building and like see the labels of the building. Like, it's extremely close, and because of that, this location is prime. So for me to live here non-subsidized, it would be so much more money. Like, I'm paying at least half, if not a third, of what I would be paying if it wasn't subsidized, if that makes sense. So I'm extremely grateful. This apartment is now 2-bedroom, so Stefan has his own room and I have my own room, which is extremely nice because we haven't had that yet. I like really need to pee, but I have no water, so like, what do I do? So the society I lived with didn't have strictly those housing and like living rules. They also had other conditions that were meant to be maintained while living there and now on as well. So they had programming, and it's basically they have 4 programs that are meant to support us as mothers and people. Yeah. So basically, again, for you to live though, you have to be in school and you have to be under 24. And which I am both. So they had a mum program, which is cooking. So like once a month we would all get together and we would have certain recipes and we would just make dinner and and it's nice that we are more comfortable in the kitchen for those of us that aren't as familiar. Like I wasn't. Like now I'm able to make dinner and I do every night kind of thing, but before then I really didn't know how to do that, so that was nice. Another one is parenting one-on-one, which a parenting coach would come directly into our living spaces and we would discuss maybe issues, concerns, anything like that that would come up in our interactions with our kids. So obviously as they get older, you know, things change, and maybe because all of us actually are first-time parents, so we don't necessarily know why my kid stopped eating, which by the way, if you didn't know, around 18 months your kid will stop eating. Still trying to figure it out, trust me. Yeah, so they come and we have a chat, and the fathers of the children are invited as well, but Mitchell is around when my parenting coach comes over, because I think it's important for us to hear the same advice and recommendations, so that, because Mitchell is around Stefan a lot, and you know, we need to be on the same page as far as like parenting, because we don't want a brat, is basically our bottom line. And then the third group is the parenting group. So the parenting coaches and all of us kind of get together and we discuss specific topics. Like the last one we did was like stress and our stress, baby stress, what's good, what's bad, like that kind of thing. Another one we did was like alternatives to spanking. Like we discuss cognitive developing, their physical development, that kind of thing. So I think those are really cool, and they're a lot more fun, kind of in a group, and we all get to share experiences and what our babies are going through currently. So yeah. And then the last one is one that none of us enjoy, and that one is called Best You. And it doesn't sound half bad at all, but really it sucks. Basically it's this lady, and she is a nurse and she works at a university and whatever, and she comes in and she discusses kind of best options for us to be the best version of ourselves. And a lot of it is like meditation and like visualization, and for a lot of people that works, but for 4 out of 5 of us it doesn't, and we just don't like it, and our instructor doesn't necessarily recognize that there's other points of views to every story. So I don't want to talk smack or anything like that. I really am grateful for all the opportunities that society has provided with me, but now since I'm off-site, I'm only obligated to go to Best You, and the parenting coach still comes to my house and we still discuss Stefan and his behaviors and what to do next, and like potty training and all of that. So yeah. So I hope I answered some of your questions about how I was able to move out, how I afford it, where I live, like that kind of thing. I understand that for reality for many people isn't to move out until they're well off later in life after they're done university, and that was my original plan. It's just I got lucky enough to get into this housing, and I was able to move on from there. So now I'm able to support myself and my son, and we are able to, you know, go to post-secondary and have our own space, which is really, really, really nice. I'm really glad that we have this option. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd love to have you in my family, and I hope you guys are excited for more videos to come, because I really am. I missed YouTube a lot, and I hope I continue with it. And like I said, I am done school. Like I just have one more exam and then I have graduation, and then I'm done school, and then I am more able to film and edit and upload videos for you guys. So let me know what you guys want to see from me. Make sure you follow me on my social media, which is linked below. I am more interactive on there. Send me DMs, I'd love to talk to you. Comment on my pictures, I'll respond or whatever. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!